My name is Oak with Oak Astrology School, and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about something that will have long-lasting impact on our world, on our reality, on our collective culture for a long time, but particularly within the next 15 years, we're really going to see the effect of that. And that is the transit of Uranus conjunct the North Node, which will be exact at the very end of July and August of 2022. But it is very much something that will have effect for the year of 2022 as well as the first part of 2023. And so Uranus is a planet that has a lot to do with our relationship to groups of people. It has a lot to do with where we are developing, innovating, where we are breaking from consistency, where we are deviating from what is sometimes, basic or conventional, and we are taking ourselves to evolve or to grow or to enhance in some way. And so with the North Node, which Uranus will be conjunct the North Node, meaning that all of the eclipses for this next year and a half period will be with Uranus. It's going to speed up time. It's going to speed up our relationship to growth on a personal level. And I'm sure that, as I'm filming this is May of 2022. We've just had the Uranus North Node eclipses in Taurus. And I'm sure that everyone can agree that they have been on a very kind of like a fast track to growing, to learning. There's less resistance than in the past year or two. So I want to explore this particular transit through the lens of history, because what's the point of thinking about astrology if it's really not based within data, if it's not based within cyclical thinking? So we can understand a lot more accurately, we'll understand accurately how Uranus conjunct the North Node will be based on previous times in history. So very briefly, let's see here. So Facebook and Twitter went global. Airbnb was founded. Kindle was released, as well as Google buying out YouTube, as well as IBM creating their first AI called Watson. So from this information, clearly there was just all this immense technological development in 2007. So fast forward to the next time that Uranus will be conjunct the North Node in August of this year, we can bet there will be a further development of that. Right now, this is different because the previous conjunction was in Pisces. So that has a lot to do with interconnectivity, and you can kind of gather that symbolism of Pisces having to do with aspects of digital, virtual, artificial intelligence, kind of that world itself. So Uranus always has an association with technology and the internet in general, but now this conjunction occurs in Taurus with Mars as well. So that will all happen at the same time. That will be interesting, but I think that there's going to be a lot more very fast development when it comes to Earth technologies, but I wouldn't doubt that there's just a continuation of maybe bringing in a lot more of that technology to the body, right? There's kind of these things that I've seen in the news or, in the socials about brain chips. That's very Uranus, Mars conjunct the North Node in Taurus. So, it's something that we'll really see develop in the next 15 years, because nobody knew that the iPhone was going to be like, everyone was going to have one, at that time in 2007. But, fast forward, and like most people, if you have access, you are going to have something similar to an iPhone, right? So that's an interesting detail. The previous conjunction to 2007 was in 1991. And that was when the first URL was created. And so essentially the birth of the internet was around that time. And clearly that is a predecessor to the iPhone, right? So the iPhone is the personalized access to the internet, and then the internet being born in 1991 at the Uranus North Node conjunction as well. And then previous to that was in 1978 when Apple was founded, and that was the first pre-assembled computer that was being sold. And so clearly there's a theme here. Like, it's kind of obvious, right? So the computer, the personalized computer, Apple, just that whole corporation, that whole entity was kind of formed at that time. The internet, iPhone, what is coming up in this conjunction? The Metaverse, you know? It's pretty obvious, but I think that we're really seeing immense technological advances. And then prior to that, the previous conjunction to 1978 was in 1961. And that was the invention of this thing called time sharing. And that was where, you know, one computer is connected to a network of computers. I'm probably butchering that, but essentially that is the first time, the first invention of this idea of a social network or a network of information. And so I think that by drawing in this quality of what happened in 1961, everything is about this interconnectivity of information and the interweaving of all of that. So that is very fascinating. And so the previous conjunction to 1961 was in 1946. And that was when the first digital computer was invented. So a lot of these Uranus North Node conjunctions have a lot to do with computers. And that makes sense, you know, immense technology that it really unifies groups of people. And I wouldn't doubt that there's other aspects to how this Uranus will interact with, you know, our paradigm. You know, planets have multiple layers of symbolism. So that was just something that I really wanted to share with you all. Learning these cycles are important because they organize history. And when we understand the pattern in history, then we're able to continually kind of, you know, it's not as much about prediction as much as it is just kind of understanding the current timeline that we're in. So, you know, the technology that develops in this year will be formative and inform the following 15 years until that next conjunction. And it's very clear based on the data points that I just shared with you that this is just, we're at a very important period of time. You know, there's a lot of other shenanigans happening when it comes to the politics and things like that, but you know, we're just looking at this particular Uranus North Node conjunction through the lens of technological development when it comes to personalized information. So, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and share. Once again, my name is Oak with Oak Astrology School, and if you're interested in learning astrology from the lens of healing, counseling, and using astrology as a tool for liberation, I have a school called Oak Astrology School, and there are 2 mentorships that are starting up in July. One is the Full Natal Astrology Program, which is a 12-month program, and you're really gonna learn how to read charts like a professional, especially with a very grounded and heart-centered perspective. And that's really what I try to focus on with my teaching, and I really put a lot of effort into just sharing all of the tools and techniques that you really need to learn astrology in a very grounded and effective way. And then there is the 5-month Transits and Predictive Astrology Mentorship. And so you're really gonna learn all the tools that I use when I do my forecasting readings. And this is an amazing course. It's an intermediate course, so you need to know how to read a chart fully. But I love teaching this course so much. It's my favorite course that I have. And there's more courses developing. I'm super excited about this upcoming year because the school is growing. And so if you're really just in that space where you're obsessed with astrology, you know that this is something that you really want to use to enhance your healing, to support the people in your community, then the invitation is open. We keep the cohorts very small, and I am just really grateful to be in a space of teaching and sharing this information. And so if you have any questions, please reach out. My email is okastrology@gmail.com. Thank you and bless.